My name is Greg Thomas, and I teach as a university professor at Tufts University in Boston in the United States. And I teach in the literature department, English literature, but I'm interested in music, politics, culture, art, and film. So I was honored to work with the Abu Jihad Museum for Prisoner Movement Affairs in Abu Dis on the campus of Al-Quds University to curate an exhibit. And the name of the exhibit is George Jackson and the Son of Palestine. And we have no such museum anywhere in North America, as far as I know. In fact, we don't pay the respect to prisoners that you pay in Palestine, or prisoner writing, or prisoner movements, and prisoner intellectualism. But we do have some amazing prisoners ourselves. And one such prisoner, probably the most legendary prisoner in the history of North America, and Afro-North America in particular, is a man named George Jackson. He was a revolutionary prisoner who was part of the Black Panther Party in North America, and was assassinated by prison guards on August 21st, 1971. He's amazingly alive today, despite the assassination, and expressed some solidarity with all the peoples of the world who are struggling for freedom. He was an internationalist, an anti-colonialist, an anti-capitalist. And when he was assassinated, on the day of his assassination, they found Palestinian resistance poetry in his cell. So there's this amazing connection between George Jackson and Palestine, and the poetry of Sami al-Qassam in particular. There's also a long, incredible, and so with the exhibit, we wanted to remember this, to unearth it, to represent it back to the world, to learn from it, and to take it forward in the present by remembering this specific example of Black and Palestinian solidarity and looking at the ways that it also continues to grow. This is my third trip to Palestine. Every time I come to Palestine, I get more motivated. I see more, I learn more, I recognize more, I make more connections. When I walk around Palestine, I get a sense of the uncanny, right? Because I see things that are new, but things that speak to me at the same time. I see things that make sense, you know. I see like what in Black art studies, some of us call the changing same, right? When we look at our own history, we see the same thing repeated in cycles with minor changes. And the rates of imprisonment of Black people in the US parallel rates of imprisonment for Palestinians in historic, occupied Palestine. So for example, I learn a lot about myself and ourselves when I read about Palestine. I learn a lot from Palestinians, and I think we can learn a lot from each other by remembering our common struggles, by having more international dialogue about our historic and future struggles at the same time. The last thing I would want to do is to think anything about Palestinians that would be mediated through colonialism, right? Whether it's Zionist colonialism or Western colonialism more generally, right? And I know that when we have conversations that we also need to do away with the mediation of the US government, or even just the middle classes, Black and white, when we talk about what Black people struggle against today. There's a lot of state rhetoric that says our struggles are over, right? That Black people are fine and Palestinians just need to stop, doing X, Y, or Z, right? But we know that's colonialist rhetoric, and the more we talk to each other, physically, electronically, artistically, intellectually, politically, physically, as I said, the more we learn, and I think the more damage we can do against the forces that obstruct our liberation.